Hennythemoor over here at HTM Sports. How's everybody doing? I'm not sure what the hell just happened. I had a couple of technical difficulties just then. Cause yeah, it's not showing that I'm on. No, yes it is. Yes it is. It's showing now. So yeah, I don't know what the hell going on with my stream right now. It's tripping a little bit, but we will persevere on, man. So hey, I appreciate everybody for taking the time to tap in with me, rock with your boy. You know, it's time to come over here and talk numbers. So since the stream went down, I'm gonna start my little spiel over again. So hey, on your way in, please hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the subscribe button. We're trying to go ahead and grow the page. Right now, we're sitting at 584 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000 so we can grow the channel. So, you know, please like, please share, please subscribe. And also, we are going to the draft next month. It will be me, it will be Landlord, and it will be West Coast Cowboy. So anything that you have to donate will be used for that purpose. The Cash App is in the top of the chat box for donations. It's $ Hennythemoor. So anything you send will be greatly appreciated. So with that out of the way, you know, now that I finally got the stream up, finally got everything going the way it's supposed to. Hey, NFZ, I appreciate the support, man. Been subs since day one. I know that's right. Hey, Double R, what's up with you? Eli, what's good with you? So, man, y'all see the title. So we're going to jump right into that, though, man. So, you know, everybody has been talking about the Dallas Cowboys possibly getting DeAndre Hopkins in a trade, right? Our front office crazy, man. Our front office are finesse artists, man. You know, they a little shiesty. But you know, it's all good. It's all love. So we want DeAndre Hopkins. You know, we want Jerry Jeudy. We want all these big name wide receivers that they asking a little bit for, right? You know, the going price on Jerry Jeudy, according to sources, would be a first round pick or early second round pick and a player, right? That's what they say they want for Jerry Jeudy. For DeAndre Hopkins, it's being reported that they want a second round pick and a late pick, right, to get that deal done, to get DeAndre Hopkins services. Dallas Cowboys, you know, it don't seem like they want to pay none of that. I wish Landlord was here when he had, you know, he got that drop. Dollar bill. Don't want to pay them country boys nothing. Yeah. Dallas Cowboys, man. We ain't getting none of them. Yeah, that's what it looks like, man. They want to be cheap. So I'm going to read the actual report to y'all, word for word, verbatim. And, you know, we'll just talk about that and break that down, man. We'll break that down. We'll break down the other news around the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all all know the report that I'm talking about. So yeah, basically it says the Dallas Cowboys are not willing, you know, to give up draft capital. Hey, what's good with you, Swain? I see. So from the report that was issued earlier, the Dallas Cowboys are interested in trading for a wide receiver. However, they do not want to give up substantial draft capital in order to do so. So that automatically, right, you hear those words, substantial draft capital. Well, that damn near rules out both the receivers we were looking at, right? Because they want a first or an early second round pick for Jerry Jeudy. And, you know, for DeAndre Hopkins, they want a second and a late round pick for his services. So, you know, if you're reading into this at face value, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys want to give up a top 100 pick for any wide receiver at this point. Hey, Michael Lockhart, what's good with you, brother? I appreciate you tapping in. So, no, just going by what they said, not what I said or anybody else. No, this is the report that was just recently leaked. They would like to get a wide receiver, but they want to get a wide receiver for the low, right? They don't want to give up much to get a wide receiver. So really, that really limits our choices. We know that they want a lot for Jerry Jeudy. I will be willing to give it up because I see his potential, his upside, and his ability to play. And I would also easily do it for DeAndre Hopkins because a second round pick is nothing. We got a second round pick right now on our team that is a special teamer. We invested a second round pick in, Kelvin Joseph, and he has only developed into a special teams player so far. And this is going to be year 3 for him. So, me, from my perspective, I have no issue giving up draft capital to get proven commodities. Because, right, even if we were to use our first round pick and we go get the best wide receiver in the draft, let's say somebody like Quentin Johnston falls to us, or Jordan Addison, or Zay Flowers, or any of these guys, right? I have no idea of actually knowing if either one of those players will be better than DeAndre Hopkins year 1 or better than Jerry Jeudy. Because I already have proven production from both of these guys over, a prolonged period of time in the NFL. Jerry Jeudy is entering his 4th season as an NFL starter. He just came off a year where he had almost 1,000 yards with bad quarterback play. DeAndre Hopkins, he was one of the best wide receivers in the league, up to recently. And you can still make a argument that he's still legitimately a top 10 wide receiver who just hasn't played a lot. 1 year he missed time with injury. Last year he missed time with a suspension. But when he was on the field, he was still very productive. The last time DeAndre Hopkins played a full season, he was a 1,400-yard wide receiver. So, it's obvious the talent is still there. And it's not like he's ancient. He's only 30. He's only like 31. So, I would not mind giving up draft capital to get either one of those players. But I'm also not the front office, right? So it's disheartening to hear that because we definitely need a wide receiver too. Everybody in here knows I'm the numbers guy. I like going over the numbers about what our team did last year. We were not very good at wide receiver outside of CeeDee Lamb. Nobody else even got over 600, even got close to 600 yards. Noah Brown had like 555. Michael Gallup only had 4 something. So we didn't really produce at the level you would want to see at wide receiver 2 last year. It was abysmal. I think we will trade second round, later round for D-Hop, and we're going to sign T.Y. Hilton for 2 years. I would like for us to give, the draft capital to get DeAndre Hopkins, because I still think DeAndre Hopkins has like 4 or 5 years left in him. Like, I think DeAndre Hopkins can be somebody similar to Larry Fitzgerald. I think he can be a very good player, even in the later stages of his career. So I think that at minimum, I think DeAndre Hopkins has 3 more years of good football left in him. At minimum, I would sign DeAndre Hopkins. He got 2 years left on his deal. Like, I would literally trade away my second round pick, give him a extra year, lower that cap hit, and we will flourish. I think we will flourish in Dallas in this system and this offense playing with Dak Prescott. However, we know our front office. They are notoriously cheap. And really what they say is if they get a deal done for a wide receiver, they want to get a similar deal like they did with Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is still, right, if you look at the advanced analytics, he is still a top 10 cornerback. He only gave up 2 touchdowns last year. Like, he was great. He was great for a majority of the season. So they want a deal like that. I think the Dallas Cowboys want to spend like a 4th or 5th round pick and bring in a wide receiver. It's probably a wide receiver, who is either a little expensive or a wide receiver who has had a couple of down years that does not have great trade value. So, that's actually what I think they're planning to do with wide receiver right now. I want them to get DeAndre Hopkins. I want them to get somebody like Jerry Jeudy. Like, those are my first options. Like, I want Jerry Jeudy or DeAndre Hopkins before I want anybody else. But, what do I always say when I come on this show and I get to talking about our personnel? I get to talk about the guys on our roster. I get to talk about the possibilities of improving the team. Really, even though I would prefer a top level wide receiver, any wide receiver that is better than what we currently have at 2 or at the 3 spot, We can go out and get them, and I'll be happy. I'll sleep better at night. Like anybody that is better than an injured Michael Gallup or anybody that is better than Noah Brown should definitely, right, is definitely somebody I would love to bring in. Jay Palmer said no to Judy, but I love D Hop. And this is the thing, I'm a either or kind of guy because I can see, the positives of bringing both of them in. Because you get Jared Judy, he's somebody you compare with CeeDee Lamb for the rest of his career. Because Jared Judy is only 24. They're around the same age. Like when it's time to extend CeeDee Lamb, it'll be close to time to extend him, but he does not have the production to get paid like CeeDee Lamb. So you can give CeeDee Lamb that top level contract, and then you can give Jared Judy his extension based on the current production. Because if you get Jared Judy right now, like you could extend him for below market value, and he wouldn't think about it. So, I see the upside to bringing in Jared Judy because he is a productive wide receiver and he's younger. But I would like DeAndre Hopkins as well because of his veteran savvy. He's been a much better receiver in his time in the league. He's a guy that's already gone over 10,000 career receiving yards. He's a touchdown machine. So, I can see it both ways. Like there are positives with bringing in both of those guys. So, if you are leaning towards one person over the other one, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I definitely could see why people would prefer DeAndre Hopkins over Jared Judy. And on the flip side, if somebody wanted to make the argument for Jared Judy because of his age, because of his upside, with the woo and this and that, I can understand that too. T Smooth TV, what's up with you, man? I see you. If the Cowboys get D Hop, Wagner, draft Cyrus, what are the Cowboys waiting for? The Cowboys aren't going to do it. Honestly, Jay Palmer. When you came in here, we were actually talking about a recent report that said the Dallas Cowboys want a similar deal at wide receiver as what they did at cornerback too, because they only gave up a 5th round pick to get Stephon Gilmore. They do not. The report says the Dallas Cowboys are not trying to give up, pristine draft capital. So they are open to do a trade for a wide receiver if the draft capital is not high. So even with a 1st round pick or a 2nd round pick, it might be too rich for our front office's blood because they think too much of the draft. It's not my mindset, right? F them draft picks. That's what I really feel about it. Because there's only going to be a couple of them that's going to actually play for you and be on your team for a prolonged amount of time. So, like, I'm always would rather go out and get a veteran player. But, our front office believes in building in the draft. They like draft capital. But, I don't necessarily think that's the right thing to do. But, we're talking about what they're not going to do. Like when we talk about what they're not going to do, I'm always going to come through and try to give us, an alternative. Dang, you beat me to it for putting into the chat box. It's big dog. The only trade makes sense in their eyes is Brandon Cooks. That is actually who the hell I was going to say. That is actually what the hell I was going to say. Because Jared Judy, they want the 1st for him. DeAndre Hopkins, they want a 2nd for him. Well, somebody like Brandon Cook is not going to fetch a 1st. He's not going to fetch a 2nd. He may not even fetch a 3rd round pick. Like, realistically, the Dallas Cowboys will probably trade for Brandon Cooks, who plays in state, right? He's been playing in the same state with them for the last 2 years or so. He's right in their backyard. They have all the footage in the world on the man. And, I still think he got a lot left in the tank. I just think he has not played with good quarterbacks. Last year, he was trying to force his way out of there. Yeah, 4th or 5th. Ain't going to take much to get Brandon Cooks. And I like Brandon Cooks. I don't think that he's on the level of DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's on the level of Jared Judy. But let's talk about what Brandon Cooks is and not what he isn't. Brandon Cooks is not even 30 years old yet. They already restructured Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen got restructured. It's going to be too much dead money to release him. He's going to be a Charger this year. So Keenan Allen is not going to get cut. They already restructured him. So he will be a Charger for at least the remainder of this season. So us getting Keenan Allen is not possible anymore. Unless they trade him. I don't think they want to trade him either. because they just got a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. They want to keep weapons, around there for him. I don't think that they're going to, deviate from there. They're going to keep Kellen Moore's weapons, keep Justin Herbert's weapons on the field. Yeah. So Brandon Cooks is not even 30 years old yet, but he is still a very explosive player. At one point, he was a 4-3 guy. While he probably does not run the same 4-3 that he used to run, he still has great game speed. He's a great route runner. And Brandon Cooks was the starting quarterback. Well, I said starting quarterback. He was the number one option on two teams that made it to the Super Bowl. He was the number one option for Tom Brady when they went to the Super Bowl in 2017. And one of the reasons that the Philadelphia Eagles were actually able to beat, one of the reasons the Philadelphia Eagles were actually able to beat the Patriots is because he got hurt early on in that game. Right? And, when he went to the Rams in 2018, he was a 1,200 yard receiver, and he was their leading receiver. And as you know, he was a guy that helped them get to the Super Bowl. They went to Super Bowl 2018, and they actually lost to the Patriots. So he was actually a number one on back-to-back teams that went to Super Bowls. But his health was an issue down the line, both of those occasions. Right? And that is one of the only knocks on Jerry Jeudy. I keep wanting to say I be feeling my soul that Dallas Cowboys should do that, because I keep having these Freudian slips and name dropping these other guys by mistake. But listen, he was good enough to be the number one for Drew Brees. He was good enough to be the number one for Tom Brady. He was good enough to be the number one in LA before Cooper Kupp made that next step in his development. So Brandon Cooks, I rock with him, and he still fits. He still fits the mold of what you're looking for in a veteran wide receiver. He used to be a number one. He is a great route runner. He gets open. He's explosive after the catch. And, he has veteran leadership. He has playoff experience. Matter of fact, he has more playoff experience than anybody else on our roster. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, played in numerous other playoff games. Hey, Dwayne Brown, I appreciate you for sneaking in and tapping in with me, brother. Demetrius Adams, I see you, man. Yeah, like Demetrius Adams said, he can still take the top off. Brandon Cooks is still a good wide receiver. And peep this, he is only 1 year removed from the last time he had 1,000 yards. In 2021, he had 1,037 yards, for the Houston Texans. And we all know they did not have good quarterback play. He missed 4 games this season. He only played in 13. He still had right at 700 yards. He had 699 yards and missed 4 games. So theoretically, if he played all 4 games, there's a good chance he would have had another 1,000-yard season. So I rock with Brandon Cooks. And listen, he's not going to be going up against number one corners in our system. There's going to be no question who the number one receiver is CD Lamb. So he'll and listen, he can line up in the slot, he can line up outside. So you can even line them guys up on the same side of the field at different points. So I like the versatility that Brandon Cooks gives us, and he still fits my main priority. He's better than what we have. Brandon Cooks is better right now than Michael Gallup, and he's always been better than Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup has never been a number one receiver in his life, right? Brandon Cooks was that dude. Deshaun Taylor, what's up with you, man? I see you tapping in. What's up with you, my boy? Double R, T Smooth. So yeah, I definitely am down for it. So even if they don't make the earth-shattering trade of bringing in, well, they wanted a second last year. This was one less year on his contract, right? There's one less year on his contract, and he's a year older. Yesterday's price cannot be today's price. There's no telling we're out on OBJ or not. If there is a bidding war for OBJ, because numerous teams seem to be interested in him, the Dallas Cowboys are going to pull out. The Dallas Cowboys do not want to overpay OBJ, even though they're interested in getting OBJ. So there happens to be like a bidding war. People are throwing out, I'll give him 15, I'll give him 16, whoopty woo, this for that. Cowboys ain't gonna touch that. Cowboys do not believe in getting into bidding wars. They want you to. They listen. Dallas Cowboys are in the mindset if you want to be here, they want you to show up. So I don't think they'll get into a bidding war for OBJ, even though they really, really, really like him and they really, really want him. I don't think that they'll, throw the checkbook at him. Not after 2 back-to-back ACL tears. Not after losing a season of playing time trying to recoup. So I don't think they'll do that. I mean, I think they want him, but if the asking price gets too high based off of what other teams are offering, I don't think it'll come to fruition. OBJ was ready. I like him, but 2 ACLs, yeah, it's bad. And listen, I like to think that OBJ is healthy right now. Yeah, and it's crazy, right, Joshua Fisher? Like DeAndre Hopkins is really a layup. Like I think DeAndre Hopkins is worth a 2nd round pick. And he wants to be a Dallas Cowboy, and he's openly campaigning to get traded to the Dallas Cowboys. So I really want them to get that done. But if the reports are true, if they do not want to give up the 2nd round pick, I will give up a 4 for Brandon Cooks. Because look at the market, look at everything that's happened ever since people. I know that they wanted a 2nd for Brandon Cooks last year, but look at what the trade market is like right now. Jalen Ramsey went for a 3rd round pick and a backup tight end. Darren Waller went for what? A 5th? Darren Waller went for like a 5th round pick or something. Amari Cooper got traded for a 5th. I don't think anything's gonna. Yeah, I don't think that anybody can actually believe Brandon Cook is gonna get a 2nd round pick anymore. Like I offered them a 4th for him, maybe a 3rd, depending on how far back in the 3rd that we're picking. But I don't think that they would. He said I'd rather have Cooks if not D-Hop. Yeah, I take Brandon Cooks because he has everything that you're looking for. He check all the other boxes. He brings game speed. He still will be your fastest wide receiver. He's faster than CeeDee Lamb. He's faster than Michael Gallup. The only guy that he will not be faster than is probably Kevontae Turpin, and we all know Kevontae Turpin does not get a chance to play offense usually. So like Kevontae Turpin is the only guy in theory that will be faster than Brandon Cooks. So it allows you to have somebody out there that can stretch the field, right? It allows you to put somebody that's a good route runner on the field. And since we'll be playing in a West Coast offense, he said Brandon Cooks is the only wide receiver we talked about that's been to Super Bowls. Yep, he's been to 2 of them. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, and because he played with Drew Brees, he's been in the playoffs a lot. So he has all of the playoff experience in the world. Like he can really help these young receivers, and that is another thing that you want to look for. Like he can still be a very good veteran presence inside of that locker room, like the same way that they were. Hey Matt, what's up with you, man? Really not going to try make deal on wide receiver. Just get D-Hop or OBJ here. We go again. Yeah, I don't think that they want to give up their draft capital. Not from what they are reporting. We always need to pray a different prayer than what they trying to do. But as it stands right now, they are really trying to hold on to those draft picks, and I'm against that. That we need to use Turpin more, so defenses hands gotta count. Yeah, they gotta count for everybody. And I think there are certain packages that you could put out there. And my boy Jarrell James came in and said he don't want to play with Prescott. Give it up, man. That man was campaigning to come to Dallas last year, man. That boy was campaigning to come to Dallas, brother. But I appreciate you for tapping in with me, my guy. But yeah, why would people not want to play with Dak Prescott though? Right. Matter of fact, let's use that as a segue because I'm gonna talk real quick about what Cole Beasley said. let's talk real quick about what Cole Beasley said in regards to my boy Dak Prescott. These are his words, not mine. So Cole Beasley said, hold on. Let me find it. I gotta keep scrolling. Hey, what's up with your flow? I see you. I'm trying to find Cole Beasley comments. He said his best season he ever had in his career was in 2016, playing with Dak Prescott. Right? He said that Dak Prescott is the reason he got paid. Those were Cole Beasley's words. You can go to his Twitter page and look at it. So, I think that Dak Prescott is a guy that's well respected around the league. And he really does be getting people paid. Like, yeah, he basically said that Dak Prescott got him paid. He said that he had an even better season than he did when he made an All-Pro selection playing with Dak Prescott. And if you look at the numbers like he said, like, he is being correct. And when you look at somebody like Cedric Wilson, who had a great year and got paid off the back of what he did with Dak Prescott, and then went to Miami and did absolutely nothing. No offense to said Will, please come home. We miss you. Yeah. Like Dak Prescott be getting people paid. Like Blake Jarwin got paid off the strain of Dak Prescott. And when you really look at it, right, why would anybody not want to play with a quarterback that is 8th all-time in completion percentage? He's 8th all-time in passer rating. And he's 9th all-time in touchdown to interception ratio. So he's a damn good quarterback. Like, people really respect the hell out of Dak Prescott around the league. It's mostly us as fans, and it really be our own fan base that don't like Dak Prescott that much. Like, the guys in the division are not supposed to like Dak Prescott because he always beats them. Yep, Randall Cobb came over here, had a resurgent season, got paid, and did not look as good again. So, Dak Prescott be getting a lot of wide receivers paid. Yeah, he did the best he could with Allen Hurns. Like, Allen Hurns was not a good pickup by the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, man, I definitely think that people like Dak Prescott around the league. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about another quarterback that is actually on the roster right now. He said that hate on Dak low-key be other QB lovers. It be like that sometimes, man. Like, you gotta have haters. You got to have haters. But yeah, man. Let's segue, man. You saw the title. We were talking about Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush did get re-signed by the Dallas Cowboys. I actually thought that backup quarterback was a position that was upgradable. I think there are much better backup quarterbacks than Cooper Rush. But Cooper Rush, bringing him back into the fold, it makes sense, right? You don't have to overreach for a backup quarterback in the draft. You got 3 quarterbacks on the roster right now. So I don't think the Dallas Cowboys will be using a pristine. Anywhere, what are you listening to? It's the elevator music, man. The elevator music in the background. It's hard to actually find like non-copyright music to play in the background. So yeah, so that's what that is. It's non-copyright. Cooks for a fourth. I do Cooks for a fourth all day, every day. I do Cook for a fourth. But yeah, listen, backup quarterback was really a position that we needed though, right? So even though I thought we can do better than Cooper Rush, we need a backup quarterback. If you look around the league last year at what happened, right? if you look at how many backup quarterbacks actually had to make an appearance in the playoffs, there were like 4 different backup quarterbacks that actually played snaps in the postseason. The Ravens backup quarterback played. The Dolphins backup quarterback played. The 49ers backup quarterback played. Really, it was 5 backup quarterbacks, right? Because Josh Purdy was the backup quarterback. He got hurt, and then Josh Johnson came in. He had to play. Patrick Mahomes had to leave the game. At one point, his backup quarterback played. So you actually saw 5 backup quarterbacks in the postseason. They play a very violent sport. Injuries happen. So, if anything happened to your backup quarterback, you need to have somebody there that's serviceable enough to not necessarily win you the game, but you need somebody good enough not to lose you the game either. And what I will say about Cooper Rush, even though he did not have great numbers, and even though it was mostly the defense that were responsible for those wins, like he did enough not to lose us those games, right? He could have still messed it up. Said, got you. It's a sight to see. Won at least 35 awards. Okay, cool. All right, you take it easy, Matt. You hold it down, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. We do need to draft a quarterback, though. We'll draft one, but it'll be in the much later rounds. I don't think that they'll use anything but maybe a late 5th, maybe a 4th, if that, on a backup quarterback. So you got to think about it. Dak Prescott himself was a 4th round pick. So I don't think that they'll go out their way and draft a quarterback. Besides, the last time they tried to reach for a quarterback, it didn't work. And thank God it didn't work, because they tried to trade up and get Paxton Lynch, remember? Paxton Lynch would have been the last first-round pick quarterback that the Dallas Cowboys got. That would have been the last first-round pick that the Dallas Cowboys got. So, no, I don't think they need to overreach for a quarterback. I think that Cooper Rush is serviceable enough. Right? He's good enough to keep the ship afloat, so to speak. So, I'm cool with that. Cooper Rush is fine in my books. But yeah, I'm disheartened a little bit, though. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I really want DeAndre Hopkins to happen. I want Ezekiel Elliott to go to Buffalo. He would help them. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills do lack a running game. Oh, they have no running game outside of Josh Allen, actually. So, Ezekiel Elliott definitely could help them. And I do think that Ezekiel Elliott will be on a roster before the season starts. I think he's really too damn good not to be. So we'll see where Ezekiel Elliott ends up playing. I actually heard from Wes. He said that he heard that the Saints were interested in him. So you'll see. He'll probably be playing some meaningful football in the near future. Showed he can win he won as a game manager, and that's all you can ask for. Like, can you imagine what would have happened, to our season if we went 1-4 without Dak Prescott instead of going 4-1? Like, we probably would not have made the playoffs if everything stayed the same and we were just 1-4, right? We ended up 1-4 instead of 4-1. We don't even make the playoffs. We're having different discussions about the draft. We're having different discussions about Mike McCarthy, so on and so forth. So, backup quarterback is really a real position of need. So, I'm glad that we addressed it by bringing back the guy that we know. So Indy is looking at Ezekiel Elliott as a backup to because Indy got a real good running back right now. So maybe they moved on from him. Who knows? But I actually had to jump off here for a little bit. I will be going back live later on tonight. I have a couple of things that I need to handle, but I just want to jump on and share my initial thoughts with y'all. So, hey, I appreciate y'all for the love, the support, but I'll be back on in a couple hours or so. So thank y'all for everything, and I will see y'all soon.